idle looks like this, and this is an example. So let's say, actually, let's close idle, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I open idle, so it's a blank shell, and actually, I'm just gonna teach. Okay, so Google idle download, and either Mac or yeah, it's just here. Python. Wait, is it this? Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, we're learning how to make. Here, actually, I'll give you guys the example first. Okay, so idle is basically a thing where you can run Python on. So it does the exact same things as a normal program would do on REPL. So say I say like hello world, and what I do instead, I do file. No, wait, I do. Where is the run button? Oh yeah, here. Run Python shell. Wait, no, come on.
You have to open a new file.
I did.
Wait, hold on, no. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I'll say it for the people who are going to be watching the video, but today we're going to be learning about Tkinter. Tkinter is a library in Python that you can use to create computer graphics. It's a really neat way of being able to show you the power of coding beyond just text-based print and input. And right now we're just showing the ways in which you can run Python. We usually use REPL, which has a server that's dedicated to running Python. It's got everything installed for you, so it's really easy. But since like Tkinter doesn't work properly on the REPL, so today we'll be using idle, which is basically installing Python on your own computer and then running Python. There's a lot of tutorials on how to install idle and how to get it to work, depending on where you're at. If it's Windows or it's a Mac OS, just like Michelle is on. But yeah, that's what basically that's what we'll be doing today. We'll be going over Tkinter and the cool ways in which you can use Python.
Yeah,
it won't work on a Chromebook.
Yeah, it won't work.
Right.
This won't work on a Chromebook if you guys are only restricted to a Chromebook, unfortunately.
If you're only on your Chromebook, I guess you can try opening REPL, the Tkinter REPL. It might be laggy, but I think
so. Yeah, Tkinter does.
It's not the best.
Yeah, so Tkinter does support. Once again, REPL does support Tkinter. The thing is, though, is that it's something that's it's just very laggy. It's a very new feature, I believe, that they just added like a couple months ago. So it's not really optimized, and it's just way better if you can see it on your own computer.
Yep, but anyway, I guess you can do that if you really have to. I realized that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So, is it possible to use this for PyCharm? Does that work?
PyCharm. Yeah, it should be fine. PyCharm is it's an integrated development environment, right? So I believe. So it's just idle is just the default code editor for Python that comes prepackaged when you install Python. So that's why we're using idle. Of course, if PyCharm has Python, you need Python on your own computer, if that makes sense. And idle comes prepackaged. So PyCharm should be fine as long as you can run Python on your own computer.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right. Anyway, I realized why it wasn't working. It was just a normal run. It's because you have to click run module, and I was clicking Python shell for some reason. Anyway, click this, and it runs hello world. Yay. Yeah, so that's how it works, and we're going to be teaching you Tkinter today, which is how to actually make like drawings and animations. And as an example, I'm going to give you an example program that Yina actually programmed for her array assignment in grade 10 computer science. So let's run it. Yeah, Yina, do you want to give an introduction?
All right, just to answer and give a little introduction to who's it? Annika's question. So Tkinter is basically Python's like package GUI. So like you can it's just like basically a library or a toolbox that allows you to create like add a visual aspect to your code. So what it's going to do is you can create shapes, and instead of just running like the shell where you have like this text-based program that I don't know, it's like this text-based adventure game or whatever we've been making in the past few weeks or months, where it's like our execution window, and it's just like giving us text. This is like a really cool way to spice up your programs a little bit and
Yeah,
make
you can
them
actually see it instead of it's just text.
visually appealing.
Yeah.
So basically, this program, it's one of the assignments that we did in grade 11 CS in Shaman's class, and it's this assignment was basically to make an animation that has like multiple moving parts at once. So you can just run it if you want, Michelle.
Yay.
I think people just read the description. But,
Yep. Okay. So obviously this is much cooler than text-based coding because you can see a picture.
How long did it take to work on that?
Well, okay. If you're taking grade 11 CS, this like I don't know how it would work in a like a quadmester, but I took it when school was still normal. So I think I got it done like he gave us the week, I think. I can't remember. It's been a while. He gave us the week, and then I finished it over the weekend, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like a weekend's worth of work.
Anyway,
yeah,
isn't that pretty?
in an animation like that.
Wait, how long did it take to work on that?
Oh, like a weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, in like an animation that's in that program, basically a bunch of things are happening all at once to create like this visual animation, right? So you have your canvas or your screen, and a bunch of things are being drawn onto it. Like the background. The background is actually a gradient, and there's like instead of just a background that I'm filling in one solid color, I actually use an array with a bunch of gradient colors to create small rectangles that gradually shift from one color to the next. So that's like the static parts of the animation. And then in every different frame, you have these shapes that are moving by however many pixels, and like pausing for like a very small fraction of a second, and then this object is deleted and then redrawn. So a bunch of different things are happening at once just to make that one animation. But what we're going to get started today on is just introducing you guys to basic shapes and actually drawing things with Tkinter.
Yeah. So before you do this, we're gonna teach you how to draw like a circle and then maybe make it red. All right. Awesome. Anyway, let's make a new file on idle. Delete this
Is
one.
anyone like still waiting on idle to download, or?
All right. Yeah. Save as Tkinter demo.
If you need like a second, I don't know how long it takes to download it, but if you need a second, we can give you a few seconds before we get started.
Yeah. If you have, yeah, I think you just click on this download based on what you have.
Yeah.
Like if you have Mac,
And then
Windows,
just when it gives you like the options to like install things, just install everything.
Yeah. Is it working? Okay. Well, if you guys don't have either just the REPL Tkinter or this downloaded, unmute and tell me now because I will move on. Nope.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Python is okay. A small tangent. Honestly, Tkinter isn't like the most practical. It's not the most optimized tool
Yeah.
for graphics, and neither is Python. Like in grade 12, you're gonna learn processing, which is a lot more optimized. Like other languages are a lot more optimized for like visual effects.
Yeah, Tkinter is kind of
Tkinter is a good
tedious.
introduction.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I'm just gonna interject for reference, guys. With computer graphics, with just computer graphics in general, Python isn't the language that you should be looking for because, yeah, just like we said, it's not as optimized. You want to look for more lower level languages. That would be like C++ and Java. Those are a lot more optimized. You have a lot more control, and they have a lot more support, if that makes sense. Like for example, Minecraft is written in Java, so that's an example of a game that most games would be written in those type of languages.
Minecraft.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yina, do you want to explain how to set up a Tkinter program? Just if you're gonna
Okay.
make a program, what do you need at the very beginning?
So whenever we want to use Tkinter, we're going to have to write this whole line that says from Tkinter import, because we're importing from an external library, and it's not just like Python doesn't know that you want to use Tkinter automatically. So there's functions like canvas that are part of Tkinter, right? So you're going to need to tell Python like, okay, I'm going to need these ingredients to make my program. So that's what the first line does. And after what you
don't
want to
forget
do,
the star.
yeah, the star. So syntax is important. Make sure you have the star. And then after what you want to do
Let's make it easier for a second. Let's just do this. You want to set everything up. You need these 4 lines, just at the most basic. Yeah.
And then what we want to do is these 4 lines, like it's really not that deep.
Yeah.
It's just the 4 lines that you need for every Tkinter program before you want to set it up. So you're gonna create my interface using the TK procedure, and then you want to create like your screen, which is basically what you're gonna be adding things to and drawing things onto using Canvas, and then just make it my interface, set your width, set your height, set the background fill color into whatever color you want, and then pack your screen. So screen.pack.
Yep.
So did you want to?
Yeah, do you want?
Did you want to like send those what is it, lines so people can copy and paste it into? Yeah, just because like you don't need to you don't need to memorize these. It's just like you need
Sorry,
them.
I'm just changing my status.
Yeah, you need to have those lines at the beginning of your program.
Let me pin this so y'all know. Also, okay, let me keep on sharing my screen. I am in Do Not Disturb. Yep, awesome. Okay, and about Tkinter colors, because as you can see right now, oh, this is the wrong one. This one. If you look at this one, we just did white, and it's in quotes, and we didn't really specify anything, and that's because Tkinter has automatic colors. And if you just Google Tkinter colors, it could show up. So yeah, see, there's like snow, ghost white, mint cream, gray, corn silk 2. So yeah, they're kind of cute. Anyway, so let's say I want like a corn silk 2. Oh, and I don't want to open contacts. Oh my gosh. Let's say I wanted honeydew 2 as my background color. I can just do that. And then if I try to run it, I'll just do control F5. And hey, it's honeydew 2 colored.
Woohoo.
And yeah. And our width is 1,000, our height is 800. And actually, I don't know if my screen is large enough to accommodate that. It should be, but I'm going to make these 800 and 800 and see if anything changes. Yeah, okay, cool, we're good. So yeah, you can change these if you want. You can also change the background. And also, if you can also make them variables, I can say width equals 800, and then replace this with width.
Yeah, and so that's really useful if you just wanna, if you ever use width or height like as a variable in your like later on in your program, and you want to change width and height very easily.
Yeah. Yep, it's a lot easier to change than like having to do all this. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to delete that for now though. So yeah, so now I have a background. Now how do we put a single drawing? Let's say we want a circle. So we have to do screen.create, and for circle it was oval. So screen.create oval. And then how many variables do we need? 4. Okay, so let's say 100, 100, 300, 300. And then fill is what color I want it to be. So what color do I want this to be? I want this to be green 2. Green 2. Okay.
Yeah, and
so
another way to use another way to use the fill is instead of if you want a little bit more freedom and you don't want to just use like the color names that Tkinter automatically recognizes, you can also use hex. Anything hex.
Yeah.
So do you want to? Okay, I'll read off. You try that one first, and then I'll read off.
Wait, what do I type? Okay, wait, hold on. Let's run this.
Oh no, just try that first so people can see.
Wow, it's a green circle. Amazing. Yeah, and okay, so basically what these variables are, parameters, sorry. So 100, so the first 2 represent the top left corner, assuming that like the oval is in like enclosed in a rectangle. And the second 2 is the bottom right corner. So 100, 100, it's like around like here-ish, and that's when the box starts. And then 300, 300 is like here-ish, and they draw a box and they draw an oval inside the box. And it's filled with green too. Yay. And then let's try using a hex now.
Yeah, I'll just
So,
give you a
Yina,
random one.
go. Yep.
So hashtag E9F5E1.
Did I do this right?
Let me see your screen. No.
I don't remember. I don't remember how to do hexes.
It's just no commas, no spaces.
That?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see this. Yay, it works.
Oh, it's really
Yeah,
close to that color. That's
okay.
really
Yeah,
incidental.
so yeah, if you want to be more like really picky with your hex values, you can do this instead. And you don't have to do these default colors. Yeah, anyway, let's just change this back to, let's say I want blue. I just want blue, just for fun. Another thing but let's say if you look at the circle, there's a line around it and it's a black line, but I don't want that black line. I want it just to be a circle. What I can do is I can say no stroke. So stroke basically means stroke is the outline.
I think that's
basically.
processing.
Oh shoot, what is it then?
It's go into the brackets.
Yeah.
Add another outline equals null, I think, or
shoot.
or none.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on, let me double check.
Outline equals none?
Yeah, I think so.
Try that. Oh nope, it doesn't work. What if I say
Did you know?
none and
Yeah.
into these? Oh, it doesn't work.
Okay, hold on.
Outline equals. What if I want it to be?
You can just make it the same color
Yeah,
as.
let's make a honeydew too. There, now the
You can make it the same color as the fill.
yeah, there you go. Now the fill is blue and the outline is the same color as the background, so there's no black line. Cool. So that's an oval. What if I want to make a rectangle? I wonder what I type rectangle. Let's say I don't know, 300, 300, 500, 600. Oh wait, no, does that work? Wait, is this the parameters I need for a rectangle? I don't know, I guess we'll see. I want to make this one orange and I want the outline.
Do not create rectangle. You're fine.
Let's make the outline pink. Alright, let's see if this works. Wow! It's a rectangle. Yeah, so yeah.
Nice.
Alright. These are like XY coordinates, so this would be the X coordinate of the top left corner, this would be the Y coordinate of the top left corner, and oh right, an important thing about Tkinter, 0, 0 is at the top left, and it goes up as you go right, and it goes up as you go down. So 300 to right 300, and then since the Y value is 300, you go down 300, and then this value is 500, which would be the X value, so 500, and the Y value is 600, so you go down 600, and here it is, and that's the rectangle. All right, so now we know how to make a circle and a rectangle. What if we want to make a random shape that's not any common geometric polygon? Well, we can actually create a polygon. And the way a polygon works is so it comes in pairs of coordinates. And each of these pairs, there's an x value, there's a y value. And each of these make up a single corner of the shape. And so it goes in order. So let's say I wanted to make, I'm just gonna make random, I'm gonna say random values. 20, 30, 163, 400, 230, and 300. All right, let's see what this is. Let's make this purple.
Michelle, make the outline just the quotes, no nothing in between. Or like instead of outline pink, just don't put pink. It's just the quotes, I think, if you don't want to have an outline. So outline equals just empty quotes.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah, try it out.
Wow. Anyway, so now if you see this polygon, what Python does is it takes these in pairs. So and it has to be in pairs. Like if I removed one of these variables, it wouldn't work because they only have 5 numbers. They don't know what to do with this lone pair. So anyway, 20, 30. So these are the xy coordinates of probably this point. And the second point is 163 and 400, which is this point. So it takes x and then the y. And then the third point is 230 and 300, which is this point. And say I wanted to add like another point, I'll just add 2 more numbers here, and then it would draw a point here, draw a point there, etc., and so on. Yeah, here is, that's, what am I missing? Am I missing anything else? That's just the basics of how to create shapes.
We can also, if we don't want to create a shape and we want to create something else, we can create text.
Oh,
too.
right.
Like you see, I don't know if, well, we only ran it once, but in my example program, after the animation finished, like
There's a
some
little
text.
poem.
Yeah, there was a, it's actually, it's a Shakespeare excerpt, but
Oh, cute.
yeah. So let's say like
Okay.
we wanted to, I don't know,
Let's say I want the
you're
text
making,
like.
no, let's say you're making, you're trying to use Tkinter to make a dating sim game. You're trying to make
Yeah.
your own dating sim, and like you're gonna need to have text on your interface, right? So
Yep.
what we can do is it's really similar to what we've been
Just
doing
screen
already.
create text.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
say
just
I want the
another
text on like near the top right corner. So in that case, I would need the x value to be somewhat large. So let's say 600, and I want the y value to be somewhat small because I want it to be near the top of the screen. So 600, 200, and then I would say text equals. Is this right?
let me double check.
Hello world is so boring. What do I say instead?
Equals
Happy belated COVID versary.
oh ew.
Yay.
Oh,
Okay.
so sad.
Right.
And you can
Okay.
choose a
So
font.
let's. Oh right. Do I just say font or text font?
It's font.
Let's say
And
for
just
example.
do sure.
You can also do
And
the
then you want to choose
size.
a fill
Let's
too.
say I want it to be really big. Let's say I make it like 30.
Yeah.
Then
And
I
then you
can
want to
say,
choose a fill as well.
is it? Oh yeah, fill
Just
equals.
fill.
Let's make this yellow. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll have to think. I'll say something after, but for now, let's run this and see if it works. Wow! Happy belated COVID anniversary. It goes off
Wait,
screen.
make
when
it
I
darker
start.
color. It doesn't look.
Yeah. Okay. Brown. Perfect. So yeah. That's this. That's the font.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
This is modern art.
Exactly. And also something really useful that I've learned is that there's another thing that you can add in these brackets, and it's called anchor. And what anchor does is it anchors the point of the text that these set of coordinates are like directed to. So the default anchor is left, which is northeast, which is west. The default anchor is west because so this is 600, 200, and that's where the text starts. But let's say those coordinates that are given, I want that to be where the rightmost text is. So that would be east. So I'd say east, E, I'm pretty sure. Does this work? Oh, no, this doesn't work. What if I try just, I don't remember. I think this is a thing. Yeah, it works. Okay, cool. So if I make the anchor east, so these are just numbers, it's cardinal, so do n northeast, southwest, just whatever that is.
And I think you can do like northeast, southwest.
Oh yeah, I can make like northeast if I want it to be to a specific corner, but let's say I just want it to be like the right side. And that means that it takes these coordinates and it anchors that to the eastmost part of the text, which is right here. So yay, happy belated COVID anniversary. Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, well that's how you make basic shapes and text.
What I think would be useful to teach you guys next is I don't know if you've already gotten the gist of it right now, but it's kind of a pain to, give these coordinates for every single point that you want to make. For excuse me. I choked on my own spit. So like whenever you want to make a circle, you have to give the x and y for the top left corner and the bottom right corner. And if you want to make a polygon, it's even worse. You have to give the point for every single point, right?
Mhm.
So what I found helped me a lot is to create a grid for myself. And this is going to be useful for like any, visual program you want to make using Tkinter. So what we can actually do is we can create a bunch of shapes using the techniques that we already know, like for loops. So let's say I wanted to create a grid that tells me what the coordinates are on the execution screen. This makes a little bit more sense. Michelle, are you following me?
I think that's really tedious. And also what Shatman does in grade 11 is that he gives you the code for the grid and he just lets you copy and paste it.
Well, it
So
would
what if
still
we
be
just
useful
show
right
them?
now.
What if we just show them instead of making
Yeah.
this? No, because we'd have to code the numbers too, which is a pain. Wait, where's the grid? Oh, you don't have it in this one? Shoot.
No. Well, I think it's useful for them to know anyway.
No, but we'd have to code the text and the text going up and showing the text for every single coordinate.
All right. Well, if you have it on hand, I guess you can just
I
copy
don't
and
have it
paste
on hand. I feel
Well,
like
it's
I'd
not
rather,
too hard.
I want to teach them how to move something first before doing the grid thing, because I feel like the grid array is a step above just moving a single shape.
All right. Well, animation needs to use a for loop too, anyways. So. All
Yeah,
right,
but
it's good.
it's less like array.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
It's fine.
you know what? And also it shows them how to use variables. Okay, so let's say before we do the grid thing, let's say we want to move this animation, because right now it's just like a still life Picasso drawing, which is great. But we want this. Let's say I want this ball to move to the right, slowly to the right. So how do I do that? Well, this is the code that draws the ball. And what I want to happen is I want to make this x coordinate. Oh, wait.
Nope.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of complicated.
Here. Whenever we do animation, so what we want to teach next is animation, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So simple animation has a very predictable anatomy. What we're going to do is we're going to create an animation loop, which it can either be a while loop or a for loop. For ease of mind, let's just use a for loop, just because with the while loop we're gonna have to find some kind of condition to stop the while loop. So why don't you start a while loop right now for
while loop?
frame? Oh, sorry, for loop
Wait.
for something in
Did I
range.
do? I don't frame
For
in
frame
range.
in range, and then whatever we put in range is just the amount of frames that we want to run it. So we can do, yeah. And then frame is now our looping variable, correct?
Mhm.
So in an animation,
Oh, right. You
happens in a few steps.
need a from time import as well if you're gonna start animating.
So every animation happens in a few steps. First, you create your object.
Mm-hmm.
Then you pause the loop for a fraction of a second, and then you delete the object the shape that you just created. So instead of just doing screen.create oval, we actually have to give this shape a name because we want to do something with the shape later, right? And how is Python going to know that we want to delete this certain oval if we don't name it first? So let's give it a variable name called
Let's say ball.
Sure, ball. And then it's going to create ball at whatever coordinate, right? And then what we want to do later is we want to stop the animation just for a second so you can see it, right? So the next command that we're going to use, well, I'm sorry, not command, procedure that we're going to use is sleep, which is why we had to use from time import, because sleep is a procedure of time from the time thing. And then what we have in brackets is the amount of seconds. So 30 is going to be a really long time.
Oh, I thought it was in milliseconds.
No.
Oh, okay.
Do 0.05.
Oh, that's why. Because I don't know if there was. Okay, never mind. Yeah, 0.05 seconds.
And then we need to use a new procedure that is going to actually before sleep we have to do screen.update.
All right. Well, I mean, you can screen update after, but
well, it's just personal preference for me.
Yeah.
Screen.update, which tells Python to make that shape and like execute all that code, and then we sleep it so we can actually see the thing, and it's not just gonna like immediately delete. And then you're gonna use something called screen.delete. Then this is we're gonna use that variable name, screen.delete whatever we want to delete, which is ball.
Okay. So in order to actually move the ball, we need to change these. We need to change two coordinates. So let's say I want to move this ball straight to the right. And two coordinates are actually going to need to change. One is the x coordinate of the top left corner, and the second is the x coordinate of the bottom right corner. Because if I only change one of them, then what's going to happen is it's just going to stretch, and it's not going to move. I want it to move, which means that these two need to be related to each other. They need to be like linked by a common variable. So let's create a variable called ball left. And right now, it starts at 100, and that's ball left. But, and this one would be, I would change it so that every time ball left changes, this value changes as well, but I still want it to be always 200 bigger than whatever ball left is. So I'm going to say ball left plus 200. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, well, I can't hear Yina, so I'm going to assume that that makes sense.
Oh, I didn't know you were asking me.
Yeah, no one was speaking, so I was like, well, that's fine. Anyway, so now I have a ball left and a ball left plus 200 every single time, but every time the screen updates, I want to move the thing a little. I want to move the ball with every frame. So this for loop, so this is basically the frame rate. Like if any of you guys are familiar with animation, there's a frame rate. So the frame rate right now, it would be 1 frame per 0.05 seconds, and each time it goes through this frame, I want the ball left to be just a slightest bit over more to the right. So since I want to move to the right, and since with Tkinter, if you go to the right, you're adding 1, I'm going to say ball left equals ball left plus 1. So what this does now is it updates this variable to be a slightly bigger number so that when the screen updates, sleeps, and it deletes the original ball, it deletes the previous frame basically, and it has to redraw the frame in the next loop. And when it redraws the frame, it says ball left, and it says, oh right, we updated that value last time. So it's going to be a little bit more to the right. So something that's really important just to remember, for every single animation, you need to update, sleep, delete. So I don't know, it kind of rolls off the tongue. Update, sleep, delete. That's a super, super important thing. If you don't delete the ball, what's going to happen is your program's going to lag like crazy, and it's just going to be like, it draws it over and over and over and over and over, and it just keeps on like overlapping in the screen. So yeah.
Just run it right now, and then we can show them what happens if you don't.
Oh yeah, I don't know if my computer, it could probably handle it, you know what? Wow, isn't that amazing? Yeah, and all right, let's see how long 500 is. Since each frame takes 0.05 seconds, this 500 frames. 500 times 0.05 is, I don't know, but it's whatever that is. I think
so
it'll move
whatever.
off screen. Oh, there you go.
So you increase it by, what are you increasing it by? You're increasing it by 1. So I guess what's useful, at least when I'm programming, is I like to create a variable called x speed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you can just change, if you wanted to change how fast whatever object was moving across the screen, you could just change that variable every single time.
Let's say instead of 1, I want it to be 3. Yeah, okay. Let's run this. And now it is faster. Wow.
Make it something like 15.
Okay.
So you can see the difference.
All right. Oh my gosh, it's gonna look really bad. Yeah, and right, one more thing. You can also change like the smoothness of the animation, because right now, since it's updating, since the frame rate is once every 0.05 seconds, it's bound to be a little bit like jagged. Like I don't know if you saw, but it will like get. So let's say I want this to be 0.03. And
it's also what your computer can handle.
Yeah, oh that's true. Let's move it back to let's say 5. So now let's see what this looks like. Okay, so now it isn't as like jagged when it's moving. Awesome. So yeah, that's how you animate a circle. And like, I guess if you want to make it move down, you would have a ball up or ball down, and you would change these, and you could change the speed. What else can you do? Let's make it bounce back. Actually, this is a really important thing for the future. So let's say in this frame, let's say we want this ball to, whenever it hits the right side of the screen, I want it to move back left. So you can actually make an if statement, because we learned that before. So if the ball, we're looking at the right side of the ball, which would be this number. So if ball left plus 200, if that number becomes greater than the right side of the screen, which is 800, since that's the width, equals 800, then, or you can just say width instead, but yeah. Then what you do is you make the ball speed equals ball speed times, wait, can I just do negative ball speed? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that can work. Okay, so the cool thing about this is that basically what this says is that it takes a speed which is 5 and it turns that into a negative. So instead of 5, it would be -5. And then when you go back the next frame, it would be adding -5, which means it actually subtracts 5 from the coordinates, which means that it would go left instead. So let's try this, but let's make this frame rate a little bit higher just so we don't run out of speed, run out of time, and let's make this a bit higher too. All right, so let's see. Go to the right and then A, and it bounces back. Yay! And it goes off the screen, but if you want it to bounce back up, you can say if ball left plus 200 is smaller than 0, because that's the left side of the screen, then ball speed equals negative ball speed. And this could be
You
LF.
just do ball left, right?
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Ball left is less than 0.
Yeah, that's the left corner. Oops. Yeah. And these are, it doesn't, this isn't like an if-else thing. It's kind of just whenever this hits this, then it does that. And whenever it goes to the left, then that. So it doesn't have to be LF. It still works like this. All right, let's see. It goes, wow, it bounces. Wow, it bounces. Wow, it bounces. Anyway, so basically, if this was actually -7 instead, it would go negative again. So -7 is +7, so it will start moving to the right again. And yeah, that's how you make a basic bouncing ball program.
We have a little bit of
Anyway.
time left, I think.
Yeah. Do you think we have enough time to
do you
make a
wanna-
grid? Do you want to what?
Well, someone graciously provided the code in the lesson room channel if you want to go check it out.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna stop sharing just in case. Okay. Oh yeah, awesome. Thank you, Pratham. All right.
Yeah, so that's having the code for a grid is really useful just because
Yeah.
whenever you're making like these visual like a scene, right? You're creating like a bunch of shapes everywhere. It's nice to know like a certain point on your canvas. It's nice to know like the approximate coordinates to that so you know where to put it. Because up until now we've just been like guessing, like, okay, our screen size is this and like the left
Yeah,
side
like a
left, right?
random
So let's just
number.
make it 100. So yeah, it's trust me, it's really useful to have that when
Yep.
you're creating like longer assignments.
And also, if you're in Sham's class, he provides this code for you, and also we just provided it in the Discord channel. So definitely save that if you want to make animations in the future, because it is super useful. I'll go over this code really quickly after, but I just want to run it just so you guys can see what it looks like. See? Look. Anyway, that's super useful because say you wanted to draw something like right here, but you don't know what this corner. You want to draw something on the top right corner. See easily that it would be 550, and that would be the coordinate. So yeah. Isn't that useful? Yeah, it's super useful. Nice.
Don't worry about
like,
gravity.
Yeah.
Don't talk about gravity.
No, gravity does not exist. Anyway, so how this code works, and actually I'm just gonna go over it really quickly. It's basically just it's just a for loop, and this, as we said before, in a for loop you can say one number, it would be 0 to 1000, and the third number would be how much it jumps by. So it would be 0, 50, 100, 150, all the way to 1000. And it's 1000. I can also keep it as, I can also make these 800, 800. But what happens right now is it just keeps on drawing outside of the canvas. It doesn't actually bug out. It's just kind of useless, but it's fine. So yeah, it creates a line at that place and it fills it, and then it creates the text of that label and does the same thing with the vertical lines. So yeah, that's a useful grid. What else? Let's just do some fun stuff. What do I want to do?
Well, you can make the color change every single time.
Dude, that was exactly what I was thinking. Let's same brain. Okay, let's make the color change and then let's end it there. So in order to make the color change, let's say we wanted to make it swap between like red, green, and blue. You would need an array for that because you need like a place to collect all the colors. So ball colors equals red, Green.
No, I'll be back. I need to go tell everyone attendance is okay. By the way, attendance is open.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Anyway, so these are the ball colors, and I want the ball to be ball colors, and this would be a variable. Let's say this would be the color. Actually, I'm just gonna call it I. This is bad practice, but I'm just gonna call it I. Okay. So what I'm gonna do right now I'm gonna set I as 0. So basically what this does is, this is an array, right? So when it's drawing this, it looks like it says, oh, I need to fill, and it's ball colors I. And since I is 0, it looks in this array, and it says the number 0. Since array started at 0, it would be 0, so it's red. So it replaces this place with red. So the ball color would be red. But I want this color to change. I want it to change with every time it hits either the right wall or the left wall. So let's say it hits the right wall. Then I want the I to go up 1. And there is a bug that I ran into here, and the issue is, so it adds 1, so it works in the beginning. So what happens right now, so it hits the right wall, and you add 1 to that, so then I is equal to 1 instead. So when it looks at the array, it would be 0, 1, so the ball turns green. And the next time it adds another 1, it would be 2, so 0, 1, 2, ball turns blue. But after that, if I add 1 again, it's going to be 4. No, it's going to be 3. Sorry, I can't do math. It would be 3, and you would get array index L of range, because this array is only so big. So the way you can solve this is a new math procedure, and I think you would need to add a math import. So remember to add these, and you need this time import in order to make the screen be able to sleep. So what sleep does is it basically just stops the whole program for a bit, so you have time to actually see the frames moving. But anyway, what you need to do, there's a new procedure. It's called module. I'm not sure if you guys. So okay, basically module is, when you say module, it gives you the remainder when it's divided by the. Okay, I'm just gonna write it down.
You just write it. It makes more sense
Yeah.
if you do that.
I plus 1 module 3. Okay, so what this means is it takes I plus 1, and then it divides that number by 3, and whatever remainder, what remain, like, you know when you divide something and get a remainder.
Whatever the remainder is.
Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah, that's what you get. So if I was 1, you divide 1 by 3, and the remainder would be 1. But if I was 4 divided by 3, you get a remainder of 1. So it goes back to 1, which is super useful because that's exactly what we want. And if it was 3, 3 divides perfectly into 3, so no remainder, so it would be 0, which would be back to red. So yeah, awesome. That's how it works, and we want this to happen when it hits the left wall as well. All right, let's see. Let's hope this works. Oh, so right now it's red. Now it's green. Now it's blue. Wow, incredible. Now it's red. Now it's green. Yeah, but I know, right? And if you
RGB
want more
ball.
color, say purple, pink, brown, now it would be, instead of this, you can say ball colors dot length. Is that right? Is that processing?
That's processing. Do len.
What do I do? Oh, right.
Len and then
Sorry.
array name.
Yeah. Len ball colors give you the length of the array, or the size of the array. So now
can
you won't
change it while
have
it's
to count
moving.
every time.
Hold on. Sorry, there was a question in the lesson room channel.
Okay.
Yeah, you can change it while it's moving. You can, if you wanted to change it with like the frame, what you could do is you can module, instead of I, you can module the looping variable.
Oh,
So
right.
like the index is the looping variable.
Yeah. But then it would be like epileptic.
It would change a lot, but you could.
I guess we could try that just for fun. But yeah, for now, let's just watch it change into a bunch of different colors, and then I'll probably break my computer if I try doing that. But let's do it just for.
Well, you don't have to change it every single frame.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so let's say other than having it change every time it hits the end, let's say I also want it to change.
Like if every 30 frames or something, or
Yeah.
maybe
So
10. I
if
don't know.
the frame module 3 equals 0, this module is so useful. Listen. So this is what this says is if the remainder of the frame, Well, if the frame number divided by 3 is equal has a remainder of 0, basically it means every 3 frames. That's all you need to know. I think you guys can all do the math. I just can't speak today. So if the remainder of whatever, if frame module 3 is equal to 0, then oh right, I have to change this too. Then I change this. So not only does this change every single time it hits walls, it also changes every 3 frames. Actually, I'm gonna make this every 10 frames. I don't want to break my computer. So let's see what this looks like. Oh, invalid syntax. I wonder where.
Double equals.
No, not double equals. I did this right. It's supposed to be. Oh, you're right.
Double equals.
Oops. I was stupid. Okay, anyway, double equals because I'm comparing, not assigning. Wow. How beautiful. Wait, let's make it every 5 frames. Let's see how flashy we can get it to be. Wow, beautiful. Let's say 3. Isn't that nice? Okay, let's you know what? Let's just go 1, which is basically just every single frame. Wow,
Oh,
isn't
God.
that? Yeah. Anyway,
My eyes hurt.
if you have a history of sieges, do not watch this video. But yeah, I think that's all the time we have today. Quick review, we learned how to set up Tkinter. So for every Tkinter member, you need to do Tkinter import interface, screen, and screen.pack. Quick little thing, you don't have to write screen actually. What I usually do is I just make it S, and with that, every one of these would be just S instead.
So screen.create is telling, like .create tells Python that you want to create something on S or screen.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
So yeah, just to prove that it still works. Yeah, you can call it anything. Oh my gosh, I hate that program. So yeah, remember that, and here's how to draw basic shapes, polygon, text, and how to animate something. With frame rate, remember update, sleep, delete. And now you can draw pictures and, I don't know, draw bouncing balls and stuff like that. Isn't that nice? Any questions? Yeah, epilepsy warning for SJAM stuff. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, any questions? Feel free to type them in the chat or unmute yourself. And I think attendance is open.
Yep, they opened. Michelle, you want to post the code for it?
What's code? Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let me
Change
change the frame rate so people don't get like a siege. I'm gonna make it 10. There you go. How do I post this? I can probably just upload it actually. File, save, Tkinter demo. Let me delete everything. Hang on. What happens if you make frame rate 0? And if you make frame rate 0, what happens is there's no pause, right? So since it never pauses, what it does is it just runs through all the frames as fast as it can, and you're gonna get the program that's gonna happen at the very last frame in the for loop. Oh, that's what I think you're talking about. Yeah, so you need the. Let's see if I can upload it. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's a Python file, so you're gonna